covered in ashes when they left me bleeding. Is rise of the phoenix, forever succeeding. I'm keeping on grinding, my energy's rising. Transitional crashes no longer surprising. I gave it to source, the old me is dead. Destroying all curses, I live by the bread. I'm holding my head up, I'm standing my ground. The empress arrived, the loss has been found. Gang, what it do? It's your girl, Empress Pre, busting at you on the mic, sending you love and light wherever you are in the sector of your universe. Welcome y'all to another episode of Let's Talk, baby. Today we have Mr. Dwayne Meeks in the house.
Peace.
Welcome in.
Thank you.
And again, thank you for being here. We connected through a friend of a friend, and I vibed with Mr. Meeks about what he's doing out there in the community. So y'all already know how I do. I'm gonna let him go ahead and just tell you what he be about.
All right. Well, it's good to be here. I like this setup, and it's an honor to be here in your space, in your energy, picking up the vibes and everything. Yes.
Thank you.
So, I want to commend you on the work that you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Very powerful and profound. So, kudos to you on that.
Thanks.
Yes.
It's all spirit. I'm just the best.
Well, just a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, and to a single mom who raised three fantastic young men. I'm the youngest of three boys, and we grew up without our father in the household, and really didn't know who he was, but mom did a wonderful job at raising us in one of the most toughest neighborhoods in Brooklyn, Bedford-Stuyvesant, during that time, and that's all of us making it out of there, alive.
And for people who aren't familiar with that area around that time, could you just let people know what it looked like?
Woo! That was, we had the gang, we had the projects, during the 80s, early 80s, around that time, mid 80s, the crack epidemic was at its height. I was born in the 60s, so during the time during the civil rights era as well. So grew up with pictures of Martin Luther King. Malcolm X,
the real OGs,
Rosa
right?
Parks, Harriet Tubman on the wall. And so those are the things I was exposed to. My mother, part of the Black Power movement back there. When we used to do that. Everybody knew what that was.
That's what's up.
Now we take our hats and we throw our hats in the air, and that's a call to action now. But
that's that hootie hoo.
That's the hootie hoo. the rapid response Negroes.
Yes. In effect.
So my journey really took me down a dark place. When I got up, I was a young adult at the time when I really began to connect with my father, and he was involved in some activities that were very unhealthy, that I shouldn't have been around and shouldn't have been a part of, but I wanted to connect with my father,
right?
And I found myself being exposed to drugs and alcohol, and all kinds of stuff. And it landed me in a drug rehab, for 18 months, and I was able to turn that around, take that experience, and find out who I was at that time. And when I came out, it was the first day of the rest of my life. I was in my early 20s. I was about 24 years old, and my father and I had a conversation. Probably 6 years into my sobriety, we had a conversation in his kitchen, and okay, I'm a grown man. I'm sitting there. I'm talking to my father, and he walks up to me and he kisses me on my forehead, and tells me that he loves me. By that time, I was in my early 30s,
Right.
and I'm sitting there looking at this man. He's looking at me, and we didn't say anything, but it was like all the years that I looked for validation,
Mm.
and for him to see me because I didn't think that he saw me, you know. And I heard some things, throughout the family about, you know, when I was born, he wanted a girl and he had two other boys. And so I was hearing bits and pieces. My brothers would tease me. And, that had an effect on me as well. So, through my life, I've always he doesn't show up to school. He doesn't show up to sporting events. He doesn't show up to different things. Um, and that bothered me. So when
Mm.
he kissed me on my forehead and said, "I love you," the monkey was off my back. It was like a relief.
Right.
And 3 months after that, he passed away.
Wow.
And we didn't know he was sick. He passed away. And I was like, wow, damn,
I just got him.
I just got him.
Yeah.
And now he was snatched. So, I felt like, it just, how do you receive what you wanted and then it's snatched away from you, and so I embarked on a journey after that point because I said I'm never going to do to my children what my dad did to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I had children previously, you know, uh, before that incident, and those children of mine, I had to repair those relationships, with them. But after that, so there was a pre and post Dwayne.
Right.
That was pre drugs rehab, and
Mm-hmm.
then post drug rehab, and I moved to Denver, Colorado, the following year because I had a dream that my father came to me and told me to leave Colorado. It's time for you to leave. Leave Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Okay.
And it was time to get out of Brooklyn because Brooklyn was hot at that time, and moved to Denver, Colorado, with my oldest brother, Dr. Dwayne Meeks, and a few years after I moved here, I started an organization called Urban Colors Arts and Mentoring, which is a fatherhood uh, program that supports fathers
Mm-hmm.
and men um, of color, and around fatherhood engagement, fatherhood connection, um, healing, family transformation,
Mm-hmm.
and creating a legacy. Um, my father didn't have his things in order, so he didn't leave anything, to his sons. But that was okay. The lesson behind it was, you know, you're the cycle breaker. I've been appointed
To break
to
those.
break the cycles
Yeah.
so that this pattern doesn't continue to happen.
I love it. And
Yes.
congratulations, by the way.
Mhm.
Like for real, because what I think sometimes people don't realize that the masterpieces sometimes come from our pain. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That we're building that road to not only on our road to healing to not only help ourselves, but how can we spread it out there?
Mhm.
And you're spreading it. You know what I mean? Within that. So I love it that your father came to you because it also shows that it's in spirit, even though he's gone on.
Yes.
He's just not with you in this dimension, but he's still with you
Yeah.
because he told you to come to Colorado.
He sure did.
Yeah.
He sure did. Right in the middle of the night, I woke up and I could have swore I was dreaming, but it was like I was awake and I was dreaming, and he came to me, and that's what he said. And he's been with me along the journey.
Yeah.
Even when I still had to heal because when I got out there and started promoting responsible fatherhood and engagement,
Mm-hmm.
connecting with men, with young men, with father figures, those kind of things, and I would do presentations and I would speak. Every time I got to the point where I would start talking about him and I's our engagement and our experience
Mm-hmm.
about the first and the last kiss, because it was the first time he kissed me and the last time. I would start talking about that, and I would find myself getting emotional
Mm-hmm.
right in the middle of the presentation.
Mm-hmm.
When I got to that section, I was cool until I got to that point. Then it was like, wow, why is it every time I start talking about this, I get a little choked up,
Mm.
and over time, through meditation, through prayer, through my own personal healing journey, and forgiveness to my father, I realized that he only taught me what he knew how, you
Mm-hmm.
know, um, what he was taught,
Yeah.
because he wasn't raised by his father.
Right.
I had to go back and do some history checking.
So that's why you mean to break the cycle.
Yes,
As well.
that was like 3 generations back
Yeah.
of children raising themselves without a father in the home,
Mm-hmm.
or in their lives. So it's like, wow, my father was raised by his brother, and his father's father wasn't raised by him. So we're going back, and it was like, okay, I get it now. So it was the forgiveness and the healing, and through, like I said, through prayer and meditation, I began to forgive my father and have those conversations with him spiritually.
That's beautiful.
And the more I did that, the easier it got to talk about it in those presentations. So
Yes.
now it's like, okay, Dad, I talk to him like that now. Okay, I'm going to do this presentation. I need your presence there. I pray to the Most High,
Mm-hmm.
and so I had this conversation with him because he's in the spiritual realm now. So he can help me more with this message and this movement, out here for to re-empower our fathers,
Yes.
to reestablish men in the family foundation where we should be, to stay connected to our children, and to heal past trauma.
Yeah.
Because my oldest daughters, I had to go back and repair those relationships when I was a young man trying to figure things out, and I hurt them unintentionally. I hurt them because I wasn't able to be the father that that I should have been, or was called to be. So sitting down and having a conversation with my grown daughter, and me finally recognizing that I caused you pain,
Mm-hmm.
and trauma, and I need to heal that, because you're still a child in your heart. You're a
Right.
grown woman, but
Right.
as I talked to her, I could see the little girl in her
Yeah.
coming out as she expressed her pain about how her story about what happened, and with me not being there, and moving to Colorado, those kind of things, and the disconnect. So once we got through that, we sat there, we cried,
Yeah.
we hugged. I took it. I had to give her that platform to say, you know what, I'm going to sit here. I'm not going to make any excuses
Mm-hmm.
for what I did and how she feels,
Love it. Yeah.
and disregard how she feels,
Right.
because her feelings are valid. So she talked to me, and it was hard to take.
Yeah.
I was sitting there like she was tearing me up. I was like, okay, that's how you feel. And you
Yeah.
apologize, no excuses, and then when you finish, it's like, okay, how can we move forward?
Thank you.
How can we
Yeah.
move forward um, and rebuild our relationship? And all she wanted was, she said, I just want to spend more time with you. I want to stay connected,
Mm-hmm.
and talk to you, because I've been through a lot of things that I went through because you weren't there.
Right.
In relationship, and this coping, and social emotional stuff, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I can do that, because you can't undo what happened,
Right.
right? But not recognizing what you did, not being accountable,
Right.
and taking responsibility for it, it doesn't help you move forward.
And then it's beautiful too that congratulations that you guys were able to mend that. But it's also beautiful because you guys were both willing parties. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You guys, okay, this is the problem. As much as it was hard for both of you to take it, because I'm pretty sure, she really didn't understand what you were going through at the time either while you were absent. She really didn't understand the addiction. So for you guys to just like really sit down and connect and say, okay, I know this is going to hurt you, but I want you in my life. And to work past it at the same time, okay, now that we've gotten that out the way, how can I love the moving forward part? You know what I'm saying? Because it's no longer that. in the past anymore. You can't pick up off of that. You could still, even when you think about it, you could still like interact on it. You know what I mean? Because it's still something that maybe you still need to talk about sometimes. But the point that you came together is what I'm trying to make. I'm sorry, I go the long ways. That you guys came together and you guys were like, okay, we can move forward. We can build from here on now. However much time we have left, we're not going to waste it.
Right.
Continue to look back.
Right.
Life is life. We're going to be lifing together now. So it's beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you. She
I
was
get
just
excited.
like, yeah. She was just like, the biggest thing is I don't want to lose you again.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to let you come back into my life. As long as you promise that this doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
And I don't lose you again.
Yeah.
Because you can't get that time back, and it's like, that's just so profound. I'm like, no, you're not gonna lose me again. I'm here. I was young, I was dumb, and now I realize, that's why I always talk about time. Time is money. That's the money.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing that you can never get back is the time that you wasted and the time. So people that hold on to stuff and can't move forward, you're wasting time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you gotta forgive, because forgiveness is for you.
Yeah.
Whether the other person receives it or not. And my father was, he was passed away, and when I had to forgive him, I said, you know what? Things got a lot easier when I forgave him, and I let it go. And I said, you know what? Because if I didn't go through what I went through with my father, I wouldn't be the man I am today. Good, bad, or indifferent.
Right.
There were other men that were poured into my life and they were positive, but that whole experience was why I got into doing this work. And ever since that, and I realized that this was my calling and my anointing. People say, what do you do? I said, I'm not into titles. I do what I do, and I let society put a label on it, because that's how people try to pigeonhole you into a niche and say, well, he does this, he's in that area, and he does that. I can't be pigeonholed into a niche, because first of all, I'm a child of the Most High. First of all, and I was sent here on a mission, to bring hope, peace, love, harmony, to learn from what I went through, and then to give it back so that those who are coming behind me don't have to go through the same thing.
Exactly.
They have a model of someone who has been through some real stuff, that's open and willing to talk about it and how they got through it, instead of, sugarcoating and be like, yeah, that was nothing. I don't need my daddy.
Right.
He was this, he was that. He wasn't. You learned something.
Exactly.
You got something from it, whether you think so or not, whether it was good or bad. You know what to do, and you know what not to do. You know how to treat women, or you don't know how to treat women from that experience.
Yeah.
If your daddy wasn't there and you show up for your kids like I did, and you reconcile, then you learn from that, because you realize you want to be there for your kids. Right. You don't want your kids to go through what you went through.
Yeah, and it also speaks along, and I'm following what you're saying, but I'm also thinking about your children at the same time, because it also speaks to their maturity level as well. They had to, even though it was hurt, and you guys were working through it together, but I'm pretty sure that they had to work through something individually in order to receive. Like, okay, now we can finally sit down and move forward. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it takes somebody to have to sit down and work on themselves. Like you said, yes, forgiveness is for you personally, but it's a willing party for you guys to go on a journey together. Or are you guys going to just continue to choose separate roads?
Right.
It's beautiful that everybody was willing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Divine timing.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Divine timing.
So it's not just, somebody just beating down on you. They've done the work themselves too, individually. And then it was time for it to bring it together so you guys could all connect and receive. That's what it's about, people. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. Okay.
You know,
Good.
and it still takes time
Yes.
because of his years of trauma.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you don't heal is passed down
Right.
again. You know, for generations. You know,
Yeah.
so once you realize that you have the ability to break a cycle
Mm-hmm.
or keep perpetrating the cycle, then you have a responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, for me, knowing what I know, when I didn't know, there was a reason I didn't know. But now that I know,
Right.
and I still decide to not do the right thing,
Mm.
ooh,
Mm.
I don't want to have to answer to that.
You better say that. No, you better
So
say that.
you
Like
know
for
what you
real.
know, so you need to move differently now,
Yeah.
and you can no longer act like you don't know
Mm-hmm.
right from wrong because you've been exposed to it. You know, so I'm very careful about my my relationships, the words that come out of my mouth when I'm speaking to my children. That I'm
Mm-hmm.
speaking love and light and peace into them and
Right.
hope. You know, and sometimes my sons are like, "Dad, I know you're gonna go into that whole that positive, motivational conversation." I'm like, that's all I know how to do.
Yeah.
You know, but it is real. I'm not gonna speak negative because I know that it's all energy. If you're speaking negative, that's attraction too.
Yeah.
So what's the way you speak life and death in the words that come out of your mouth?
Exactly.
So I'm very careful when I'm talking to myself about how I speak to myself
Mm.
and about prosperity and abundance and what I want. I speak about what I want. I don't talk about what I don't want.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I talk about what I don't want, I'm giving the don't want the energy to manifest itself.
Thank you. Right.
So
no,
I'm like,
you.
no, this is what I want.
Yes.
This is my desire. This is the outcome I want.
Yes.
And anytime something negative tries to seep in there, and
Mm-hmm.
it does, I have to quickly shift that and like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I know what stinking thinking does. That don't work for me.
Right. You ain't welcome
It
here.
takes me out of alignment. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't go down that road. So when people piss me off, it's like, ooh. Okay, I can hear it in there. I was like, no, Dwayne, don't do it. Because the enemy is always trying to throw you off out of alignment. Because if you ain't trying to do nothing in life and you don't want to be anything, the enemy ain't got no reason to mess with you.
Facts.
Because like, okay, you messing yourself up,
Yeah.
and I don't have to do much because you already screwed up in the head. You don't know what you want. You're negative. But if you are positive and you know your purpose and you know what you're trying to do in life, you know what you were called to do, the enemy is going to attack even more.
Yeah.
Because now he don't want you to fulfill your calling and your purpose in life.
Right.
I'm gonna start throwing all kinds of stuff at you, temptation, negativity, people messing with you and trying to push your buttons, like, and you have to recognize that stuff and just like laugh it off, like, okay, I see you.
Yeah, because you see it.
I see what you. Yeah. Is that all you got?
Yeah, exactly.
Because my thing is, if the enemy was going to get me, you should have got me when I was on drugs.
Oh.
That's when when I was homeless and on drugs. That's when you should have got me good and took me out. Not when I'm at full strength.
Right.
You know, covered by the divine, protected by the divine.
And it is. And it is. And it is. And what people fail to realize is just because I'm not responding to you the way that you want me to, it don't mean that I'm not prepared for a fight. I'm a warrior. I've been fighting all along. It's just that I don't have time to entertain your BS right now.
Right.
So I choose to go this way. But don't get me wrong, because I know I could stand up and fight in this. And when I come out roaring, you ain't going to like that. So, sir, madam, bruh, sis, stay over there. Let me put you in your place. I'm on my mission. Please don't come near. Because I know what I am. Because if people really think about it, God's a killer. Sorry. But he is. You know, whatever label you want to put on him. He done wiped us out so many times. Thank Lord for Jesus. But
getting in the end.
Yeah.
You know.
So we all have that within us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we're that warrior spirit. So don't push it too far, people. You know what I'm saying?
And these are higher levels, higher devils.
Exactly.
You know, if you on a low vibration, you're gonna be attacked by the enemy on the level that you're on. Yeah. So as you move up the ladder of success and whatever you're doing, the higher you go, you're not going to be continue being attacked by low level vibration because you're above that now. Exactly. You're going to be attacked on the level that you're on. So it's going to be greater, and you got to have that armor on, and you got constantly, for those of you who may not trust me, but believe in it. You have to know yourself. You have to pray and focus on the outcome that you want. My thing is feeling good. I know that I'm in alignment, and I notice things work out the way this for me, the way it's supposed to, when I'm in alignment. And it's usually when I'm happy and I'm at peace and I'm practicing self love and my connection to the Most High is when things go more smoothly. Not that, and there are moments.
Yeah.
There are good days and there are bad. Well, no, they're not good days and bad days. They're bad. Uh, there are moments.
Yeah.
That are bad.
Mm-hmm.
Every day is a good day.
Yeah.
Because we wake up.
Yep.
Every day, but throughout the day, there are moments that may cause some challenges.
Yeah.
But they only last for moments.
Yeah.
And then your day continues. So you got to continue to just, practice focusing on the moments that you want to create.
Right, because it's not about perfection.
Right.
Right. It's not about perfection. We're human. We're going to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
That's just that's our DNA, and we chose that as humanity. But we have to also know when to evaluate ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To actually really look in the mirror and to find what works for us. You can only give tips. We can only give tips and pieces of our lives. It's not to say this is how you're supposed to do it. This is your carbon copy of it. No, because we're all different.
Mm-hmm.
So just take something from somebody's life and then try to find it in your own. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then mold it to how you were created to be. Because if you really release and let go, how I look at it is that the Creator's going to show you how He molded you. You know what I'm saying? Our brothers and sisters are here. We're here in passing to just continue to just keep each other going and keep each other alive. We feed off of each other. That's why it's imperative that we have these connections with one another. We got to stop hating on people. This is our planet and we're neglecting it.
Right. Stop hating on people.
Exactly.
That's a big one. That's a huge one. You gotta make sure you surround yourself with good energy, people who are, on your level, and when you and pulling people up. You can't be around people who are just constantly negative.
Yes.
And if someone is around me and they're negative and they're feeling down and they just want to just keep talking about the negative, you have to put boundaries on that and make sure you know what, I'm gonna let you talk for 5-10 minutes. You can get it all out, but then we're gonna move to taking some action,
right? And
some action steps, implementing something so you can stop feeling this way. But for you to sit there and just listen to someone who's just doing that for hours and just ranting and raving, you can't let people. You gotta pull people out of that funk, because that energy is gonna attach itself to you,
right? If it's not like, I don't know, if that person's not ready, you can't force them.
No,
you know what I'm saying. And ain't no love lost. It's just like, okay, listen to you. I see you ain't ready. I can't help you right now because you're not trying to receive anything. Not that I have all the answers, but you ain't ready to move forward, my guy, my girl. Right. So therefore, I got to keep stepping over here. Hopefully we meet again. Right. You know what I'm saying? And you're in a different position. It's not no love loss.
Yeah, and I'm all for validating people's emotions and letting them talk and get it out. Just out of respect, and embrace that and let them have that space to be able to do that. But my thing is just not letting them stay after they're done. Not letting them stay stuck in there, because you're not doing any justice if you just like, yeah, girl, you right.
Right.
He is
right.
And you confirm it and validating all the negativity. Like, no, you can't. You gotta, allow people to express without any judgment, and then say, okay, so what you gonna do?
Right.
What's the plan?
Right.
Because you gotta get out of that. Get out of that funk. How do you pull yourself out of that? And you support that person. But this surrounding yourself with the energy that where each one is teaching one, and we're empowering each other. We all gonna go through stuff, but we need to be able to empower each other. I like being around people that's smarter than me. You know, that's something that's different than what I'm used to. I don't care what it is, long as it's about taking action, it's positive, and it's about moving forward. It's not about staying stuck, and it's not about complaining.
Thank you.
And it's not about being a victim.
Yeah.
Victim mentality. No, we're not victims here. I'm not receiving that.
Right.
So but being around people that type of energy that is uplifting, you feel fed. And you don't feel like you just zap all my energy and now I don't have no energy. And you just pull me down.
I love it.
And I feel drained after talking to you.
Yeah, no, I get
not
it.
You, but just
no,
saying.
no, I get it. No, I get it. Just with people. Sir Madam Bruh says, whoever you may be. I get it.
Those energy drainers.
Yes.
Those people that just they're takers.
Yep.
They're not givers. They come into your life to take what they can, and as long as they can, as long as you allow them, but they're not pouring anything back in. Because because you're a light. If you're a light, people are gonna be attracted to you because you're a light. And we're all givers and takers, but I think you know what I mean when I say you just take, and and on to the next one. And you feel the difference. Have a conversation with somebody. When you walk away from that conversation, do you feel more empowered, energized, or do you just feel like your energy life is just being sucked away slowly?
Facts. That's why parting is such sweet sorrow. Not that you sit up there and you're like, oh, woe is me. It's such sweet sorrow because you finally find somebody that you can connect to that has that like-minded energy, but you know that you have to send your brother or your sister along the way because you still have your past. You can only sup there for a matter of time. That's why it's such sweet sorrow. You're not trying to hold each other down.
Yeah. Absolutely. How did we get on? How did we get on that subject?
I don't know.
We just went on a tangent.
Everything.
Tangent right there.
We just went deep. Okay.
But let me say, go back to just the fatherhood movement and peace. Things I've been prepared for this all my life, and things are falling into place, and I'm starting to see, and I'm just like, oh, that's why I had to go through that.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying this ride now, in this journey because I'm meeting people, connecting with folks. I'm hearing people's stories, and able to be in circles with men who are ready to heal and connect and talk about some stuff. Talk about their mental health. Talk about the barriers and challenges of being men of color, talking about our families and talking about disconnect and talking about society in general. Fatherhood is alive and well. Yeah. It's just that the media and the pictures and the videos and the things that we are seeing a lot of times don't promote that.
Right.
So the media is going to show you what they want you to see and to hear. So we have to change those narratives and use platforms like this, like Let's Talk, and talk about these things so we can start changing narratives.
Yeah.
Having real conversations, modeling and showing success of men who have stepped up, for their families in community, in schools, in general, and being models, role models, and mentors.
Right.
We see it in different bits and pieces, but we don't see it enough. We see a lot of the negative stuff more because it's in that algorithm. If you're watching YouTube videos and you click on brawls and fighting and all the crazy stuff, you notice that you start seeing more of it sent to you. So if you want to see the positive things that men are doing, look up some of that stuff Get that into the algorithm. You
Facts.
know, we all do that collectively. You know, we'll start seeing more of that. We can start creating our own narratives, our own platforms where we're having these conversations, real talk. You know, about respect, respecting women, about men standing up for women, about men and women working together in harmony,
Mm-hmm.
not in drama,
Mm-hmm.
those kind of things, and the shows that are on television. Why are we seeing so much negativity? You know, I don't want to mention some of those shows because then I'm putting it in the algorithm as well. But we know what we're
Facts.
talking about.
Exactly.
These black shows that are out there that really are not promoting healthy relationships at all. Is promoting the negative. You know, is promoting the disrespect. You know, the abuse. Um, you know, you know what I'm saying?
No, it's
There's just
real. No, it's real. It's real. And you mentioned YouTube, and I'm glad that you brought it up. That's why I like YouTube. If you guys really think about it, it's called YouTube. YouTube tells on you. It lets you know who you really are. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to know what's going on and what you're filtering in, go through your history for a little bit because you choose. You get to decide on YouTube what you're filtering in. So,
and now we
I
got
like how
our
you said
phones are
that.
listening to us when we're
Yeah.
not even on YouTube.
Facts.
Y'all know that.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
you having a conversation, and next thing you know, you start getting ads
Mm.
for what you just finished talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, I was just talking about that. Oh yeah, because the phone's is listening.
Oh, you said you wanted some pizza? Hold on. There you go.
The AI is in your phone constantly
Crazy.
on in your TV.
Mm.
Not
Not to make you paranoid, but just
to
be
make you have,
aware.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, start whispering.
Mm.
Make sure your phone is face down so nobody's
Mm.
looking into your house.
Something. Even though technology's here to help, you still gotta be careful.
Yes.
Filter some things out. Thank you, Brother Dwayne. No, keep going, keep going. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
thank you.
let's get this into the
Yes.
algorithm. I brought this book, want to promote this book. Pieces never missing required in a child's life.
Can y'all see it? There we go.
Yes.
Sorry, don't mean to block you.
Oh yeah,
There
you're
we go.
fine. There you go.
All right.
Yes.
And this is my copy.
Yes, I have to sign it for you.
Can't read.
Yes.
But please go into it.
But yeah, Pieces Never Missing Required in a Child's Life is a book about my journey into work in the school systems with my sons being a actively engaged parent in the school system with some strategies, some tips, some stories, some lived experience stories about how I introduced myself into the school system, how I was able to set up, implement fatherhood programming in some school systems, following my sons from birth all the way through high school. Um, yeah, it's some great stories, some great learning experiences with myself, some principles that I had conversations with about the importance of fatherhood engagement and how we turned around some schools and the success rates went up. How I interacted with teachers and some of the experiences that we had from them seeing a black man coming into the school advocating for his children and some of the things we had to learn together because they weren't used to seeing um, a man, let alone a black man, coming into the school system and asking questions and engaging and holding people accountable and working together. That's what it really was. It really about was working together with the teachers and the educators because I figured if I'm dropping my son off at your school for 7 to 8 hours a day, sometimes 9 hours a day with extracurricular activities, then I need to know who the people in the building are and develop those relationships with them so that they understand that we are partners in this. You have my child. I need to know who you are. You know what your values are, and connect. I want to hear the good with the bad, And because I know my child isn't perfect. So if we have parents that go into the schools and they act like their children are perfect and they could never do any wrong, but that's not true. Kids are going to be kids, and whatever age range they're at, that's developmentally appropriate for that, for that age and that grade. But when you're working together and the teachers feel supported and they know they can come to you and have a constructive conversation about your child without you getting offended, then you're collaborating because the ultimate goal is we want to see them be successful,
Mm-hmm.
and if the child feels that there's a disconnect between the school and home, they know how to play on that and leverage that as well. So I
Your
would
kids are
have
smart.
all the teachers and the principal on speed dial. Call me anytime. Anything that has to do with my child. So I was all in it, and I said, you know what? That's not seeing a lot of men in the schools here, but men need to know we need to be in the schools with our children, advocating for our families, showing support. Teaching is a difficult job as it is, and I commend teachers for doing the job that they do for our families. But it's a team effort. It's a village. It
Yeah.
takes a village to raise a child. Not just the schools, not just home, but our faith based community. Our extended family. Um, you know, our community organizations, our rec centers. All those things.
We're all connected.
We're all connected, and that's how it used to be. Back in the
Mm-hmm.
day. They had something called back then called the beat cop, where the cops they would walk around throughout the neighborhood, and they knew you by name, and you knew them by name, and you could have a conversation with the police because they would stop and they were trying to get to know the community. You don't see that anymore.
No.
That's a different time, but there was more of a sense of community. Is what I'm saying.
We need to get back to that. Where is it available?
On Amazon, on Amazon,
Amazon,
or you can connect with me through my website,
which
which
is.
is www.urbancolors.org.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, those are the places you can find it now. I do speaking engagements, I do workshops and presentations and keynotes.
Instagram too.
Instagram, Dwayne Meeks, author, speaker,
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram, and also on LinkedIn.
Right. So, like, go out and get the book. And then once you finish with the book, y'all just keep in touch with Mr. Meeks because he has articles and stuff that he writes about. So he's all out there. You just gotta like be interested enough to know what he's doing and get involved in it as well. Because as you guys can see with the interview, as we went all over the place, if you want to call it an interview or not, we're just chilling, But as you see, we went all over the place because I like for you guys to see that his heart is actually in his work. You get to experience him in person, in your person. You know what I'm saying? You invited him into your home by viewing this or listening to this. So
Yes, this is. I love talking about this topic. It's needed. We have young men who are, who are going to be fathers one day.
mm,
And a lot of times the men that are no longer around for whatever reasons that may be out of our control or in our control. It's our responsibility as men, as healthy men, not toxic men now, talking about healthy men. If you have some issues, get healed, get help, get professional help, heal those issues, and help heal your family. Show up for them. Be there for your kids because they can't do it alone. They may think that our kids may think that they're independent and they got this under control, but we know, the elders know that life is challenging, and so many of our kids, don't want to be here
Mm.
and want to check out because life gets too difficult,
Mm.
and they don't have the tools or the people to show up to say to help them walk through it, to give them hope, to give them inspiration, and say, hey, it's only temporary. You're gonna learn through this. This too shall pass, and you have greatness inside of you, and you have something to offer the world. Give men a task. We want to be able to offer something. Everybody has something to offer. We all sent here with gifts. Some of us with multiple gifts. Find out what your gifts are, and then do it for the rest of your life. When you find out what you love to do, it's no longer work. You know, it's joyful. It's fulfilling. This is not work. This is not work for me.
Facts.
This is not a job. This is what I do. What I wake up thinking about. When I go to sleep thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not a job. It's not work. I'll be you say when you retire, I'll never retire
Exactly.
because it's not a job.
Yeah. No, I feel you. It's your purpose.
Right.
It's your path.
Right.
It's a joy.
It's a joy. Totally.
Yeah.
And at the end, all I want to know is that, hey, job well done.
Exactly.
That's all I need to know. That I feel that job well done. I left it out on the field. I'm not taking it with me. I'm giving it all away.
Mm.
So if you want some, come get some.
Hey. Sell it. Where my ladies real stand up. For real, stand up out there. We gotta teach one another. We already have enough filth out there. You know what I'm saying? We gotta learn how to just be here for one another. Ladies. Queens. Call yourself a queen. Please stand up, because everybody says there's not good men out there. There's plenty of good men out there. Are there enough women that are doing their jobs? So just find you and work on you. Sorry.
we working on ourselves.
Yep.
You work on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come together.
Exactly.
Okay, not 50-50. It's 100-100.
100-100.
Okay, the best version of yourself meets up with the best version of them.
Yes.
And you just make magic from there.
Exactly. Y'all can do the thing.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
It's always good to be in the presence of my brother. For real. I appreciate you. For real. As for anything else, would you like to add? Because I go all over the place, but at the same time, I don't want you to miss what you need to get out there.
I'm gonna let you choose. What burning question do you have
for you?
Yeah.
Well, I ask everyone, what other advice could you genuinely give to people out there to help them along their journey? So, what advice other than sharing? What could you give?
My biggest thing was stop listening to other folks' opinions of you. Okay, your confidence should not make other people insecure unless they are insecure. If you're a confident individual, be confident. Be around people who are gonna love you. Not people who are going to clap for you in your face, but behind your back, they turning their nose up. You have to be confident in yourself. Other people's opinion of you is none of your business. Keep your most high first. I don't know what you choose to call him. I choose to call him God, but first and foremost, because we're all individuals. We're all flawed in some kind of way, and none of us are getting out of here alive. So while you're here on this planet, what are you going to do with the time that you have on this earth? Because you can't get it back. You can't press the reset button and get a do-over like in a video game. So any time that you are wasting doing something that you ain't got no business doing, that's not going to push you closer to your destiny, you're wasting time that you're never going to get back. And the last thing you want to do, I always say, live your life the way you want to be remembered. Because at the end, when someone is reading your eulogy, they're going to talk about who you were on this earth, and they're not going to tell no lies. So if you want people to remember you in a positive light, someone who gave their all, then live your life how you want to be remembered. Because after you leave here, you ain't nothing but a memory. So, that might be a little tough for some people to swallow, but that's the truth. I always say when you leave this earth, you remember, unless you have a profound impact and legacy, you're going to be forgotten 3 generations from now. Your kids are going to remember who you are. They're going to tell your grandchildren who you are. Your grandchildren will remember who you are, and they may share with their children. But after that, it starts diminishing unless you have made a significant and profound impact in the world. You're forgotten. We're only here for a brief moment in time and space. So what are you going to do with your time and your space that you have here? Now. Time is now, not tomorrow, now. Because you do now to make a difference in somebody else's life. I wake up every morning asking, how can I change somebody's life? Give me an opportunity to change somebody's life. Let me run into somebody. I don't care if it's in the store. Where is that? In the street, grocery store? When we walk out the door, we're connecting. We're constantly connecting. And people touch my life. A homeless person could touch my life and have walked up to me and said something positive and profound, and I didn't expect it, but it resonated with me. So don't judge where it's coming from. God has messengers all over the place.
Yes, he does.
Just be open to hear, to listen for those little nudges. And spirit is always moving you towards your destiny. It's our egos that get in the way of us fulfilling our destiny. Spirit is always trying to move you where you're supposed to go. So, but you got to be willing to listen. Turn the volume down, all the distractions down, so you can hear what's happening inside of you and feel what's going on around you. So that's my message to you.
Well said. Thank you.
You're welcome.
For sure. Thank you for being here. Y'all, please go pick out your book. Peace is Never Missing. Also follow Dwayne Meeks on Instagram. Please shout it out again.
Oh, what is it? Oh, Dwayne Meeks, author, speaker.
Okay, and then also, because my mind be running. And then Urban Colors. Shout it out again.
Urban Colors Arts and Mentoring.
Okay.
We're taking over the world.
Amen.
Follow me.
Amen.
You'll see. Come be a part of it.
Go get your book today. Read some articles. Follow the man. Follow your girl. It's your girl, Empress Pre, with another episode of Let's Talk here with Dwayne Meeks. We out.
Peace. Peace and love.
My grandmother always said, you gotta crawl before you walk. And now that I'm walking, my feet won't fail me now. Travel through life and reach an awakening. The journey's been cold, it's time for a reckoning. Abandonment issues kept pulling on my heartstrings. I fired back by accepting what you love would bring. They saw the beauty but try to change it into the epitome of their illusion, creating what our distance be. Calling me funny type cause they don't have access now. And petty's my title cause I refuse to bow down. Hold up, I was surviving when their presence was unknown. Exiled and broken but my will remains strong. I'm not allowing my failures to get the best of me, or the stigma of fear to define my destiny. Covered in ashes when they left me bleeding is rise of the phoenix, forever succeeding. I'm keeping on grinding, my energy's rising. Transitional crashes no longer surprising. I gave it to source, the old me is dead. Destroying all curses, I live by the bread. I'm holding my head up, I'm standing my ground. The empress arrived, the loss has been found.